Hello and welcome back to Weekend Handymen. As you can see from the video title, we are working on the Jeep with the Dana 44s, otherwise known as the Big Red Jeep, the Red Retard, who knows. Specifically, on this day, I am working on the air idle control valve. As I had stated in probably a couple videos ago, I was having an issue where the Jeep would stall after starting, or if I were to come to a stop or let it try and idle, it would just kind of die. Did a little bit of research, and it turns out the idle air control can be at fault with that. It can become very caked with like carbon deposits and stuff like that, and won't function. So here, what I'm doing right now is what I ended up doing was taking the entire throttle body apart. Initially, I was only going to remove the idle air control valve and just clean that, put it back in, but then I decided to just take the entire thing apart and do a complete clean of the throttle body and the idle air control valve. So that's what I'm in the process of doing. This video is actually pretty old. In terms of timeline, this video was actually filmed here before the rear bumper was actually even installed in the Jeep. I just haven't had space to put it or anywhere to put it in terms of the lineup of videos. So you get to see it now, a couple months behind actually took place. And spoiler alert, you know, the repair came out perfect. Alright, so now I have everything inside. This is the air idle control valve itself. It's pretty caked with shit. Like I said, you know, if you have any idle problems, stalling, or even a high idle that you can't figure out, it's probably this thing. I'm going to end up cleaning the entire throttle body itself. It's not too bad. From the little research I've done, I've seen much worse on the internet anyways. But I figure I might as well clean it, so I'll end up pulling off the throttle positioning sensor off, and then I'll pull off whatever sensor this is too. I'm not sure what this one is. But I'll pull that one off too, and then clean this throttle body itself out. So the air idle control valve is a T20 Torx. It seems like the other two sensors on here, which is the throttle positioning sensor, is T25. And this sensor, which I'll call the vacuum go fuck yourself Chrysler sensor, I don't know, it has a vacuum connection on it. That one's also looks like it's a T25, so that's going to come off as well. The air idle control and the throttle positioning sensor both have O-rings on them, so when I'm going to clean these, I'll probably peel those off, put them to the side so they don't get too damaged. This thing, however, looks like it's going to give me a bit of trouble. There it goes. Oh boy. There. Hopefully I can get that back on easily. So cleaning the throttle body is about what you'd expect. You just take some carb or throttle body cleaner, spray it down in there. Both sides. Oh god, make sure you don't get it in your eye. And you're just going to take a toothbrush or some kind of other brush and just clean all that shit out of there. And then the idle air control, same thing. Just spray it around in there, toothbrush it out. I've seen a little bit of research I've done on how to do this. I've seen some people who take a pick and kind of pick out the area around there. I'm not going to do that because this is actually a pretty expensive sensor if I break it. So I'm just going to spray it with some carb cleaner and brush it out. Seems like none of this stuff is super baked on, which is a good thing. I can pretty much just spray it with my throttle body cleaner and it kind of just runs off, which is a good thing. I didn't really expect it to be super baked on because it doesn't, you know, being that it's at the throttle body, it's not, you know, getting a super lot of heat soak, and which would cause this shit to get baked on. So that's a good thing. I'll end up, you know, this is spraying a little bit of shit down in there too. And then I'm not going to do anything with that because that's just the throttle positioning sensor. The throttle positioning sensor just engages on that tab and just gets turned with that. This little vacuum Chrysler go fuck yourself sensor, I'm not sure what it does, but I'll probably blow that out with some shit. So that's a vast improvement in the throttle anyways. And you can see exactly what the idle air control actually does. It's just a valve that opens up a passageway around the throttle body. So there's an inlet and then an outlet down here, because when you're idling, the throttle body is completely shut. So the air idle control opens and allows air around the throttle body blade. Much better. All the shit that was on there is off of it now. So I'm just going to go ahead and put all these sensors back onto the throttle body itself, clean up the area that the throttle body gets bolted down onto, and put her all back together and give her a test. I did a really quick cleaning of the area that the throttle body goes back onto, which resulted in me tearing the original gasket that was on there. So in between the last thing you just saw and what you're watching now, I ended up having to run out and get a new gasket for that. Honestly, if I were to do this again, I would just have a gasket on hand so I could rip it off and clean it up alright, or as good as you care to do. Obviously putting it back together is the reverse of taking it apart. Keep in mind that none of these bolts are super tight. They're just, you know, hand tight and cranked down a little bit with your 1/4 inch, you know, socket. I wouldn't go anything bigger than that because you end up probably stripping out the intake manifold there. So nothing more than a 1/4 inch ratchet. But as you can see, that throttle body is nice and shiny in there now. So that fixes that problem, and I guess it's pretty easy to tell or see. This is the pan, of course, that I had the carb cleaner and washed all the shit out into, and it's the carb cleaner, of course, evaporated a little bit, but it left behind the sludgy mess that I just cleaned out of there. Well, yeah, there's quite a lot of shit in there. So I guess it's understandable why it would start malfunctioning. But it's all fixed now. Idle's way better than before. Doesn't want to die. All that good stuff. And of course, as per the usual, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel so you can keep seeing more videos from us. Leave a comment, tell me that I'm great, tell me that I'm stupid. I'll take either. And like I usually say, if you know anybody that likes Jeeps, likes cars, likes anything mechanical really, and likes to watch videos about it, be sure to share the video with them. There's probably something here that they'll like. And if you haven't seen it yet, click on the annotation on the screen and see the full video where this scene came from. I had recently got the Jeep out on the trail, and I brought you along. There's 2 videos, so make sure you watch both of them. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.